It's Monday, March 23rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, 2 people killed in a collision between an Air Canada jet from Montreal and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And pharmacy care expands in Nova Scotia. All pharmacies in our province can now diagnose and treat 29 different health concerns. We'll get all those details.
And spring beauty must-haves. Beauty contributor Mira Estrada shares some of her favorite items to help refresh and restore moisture for this time of year. All that and so much more just ahead on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
On the dot on this Monday, March 23rd. Thanks so much for joining us. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, settle in. Don't look out the window unless you want to see it. It's actually very pretty, a beautiful little snowfall overnight, but
yeah,
a lot of people are thinking it's spring already.
Yeah, we're done with the snow, right?
You're back, Amanda.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks. Hi. It's nice to be back off for March break. So a lot of students in Nova Scotia, of course, were off over the past week. So my son and I spent some time with family out in Ontario, which was lovely.
Yay.
And I have to tell you, my husband was sending me, he stayed behind and worked, and he was sending me photos of like the snow melt in Nova Scotia. Meantime, where I was, it was like winter all over again. It was like fresh snowfall every single day. And then I come back and I brought the snow.
Clearly.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yes, first official Monday of spring.
Yes, it's not looking like spring. We're actually getting a bit of spring snow today. Early in the morning across much of the region, we have that snow mixed with freezing rain. We'll see some steadier snow a little bit later on as well when we get another rush of that snow moving in. Here's a live look at Hampton. As you can see, flurry activity already starting off your day over there. Just keep this in mind when you are heading out on your early morning commute. Roads are wet. For a lot of areas, we are seeing just wet conditions, not really too slick, but could also be slick in parts of Atlantic Canada, specifically in the Maritime region. That's where we're seeing that snow. A -3 starting off your day in Fredericton, a -5 in Charlottetown and Sydney, -3 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -32 in Labrador City, and -6 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So it is feeling cooler for many areas across the region. Temperatures will remain below seasonal for our daytime highs today, and we do have a risk of frostbite still remaining in parts of Labrador. A special weather statement remains in effect across the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning. Still expecting snow at around 10 to 15 centimeters. We also have a winter storm warning until Tuesday night for much of Newfoundland as the snow begins to move in for tonight into Tuesday, and blowing snow advisory also in effect until Tuesday afternoon for the Channel Port of Basque. We also have a winter storm warning, orange level, so some heavier snowfall totals for the Avalon Peninsula. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. For parts of the Maritime region, looking at a bit of flurry activity early in the morning. Snow mixed with freezing rain across Nova Scotia. We'll transition over to steadier snowfall into the afternoon, then becoming flurries before another system moves in. Here's a look at the current wind across all 3 maritime provinces. It is starting to pick up. As of right now, 37 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 31 into North Cape, 28 in Yarmouth, 22 in Canso and Grand Manan. Here's a look at the current wind gusts across the maritime region. 41 kilometers per hour in Yarmouth. We're looking at 31 in Canso, 48 in Lunenburg. We'll take a look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we begin with developing news south of the border. An Air Canada plane from Montreal has crashed into a fire truck on the runway of New York's LaGuardia Airport. Aviation officials say 76 people were on board the flight, which crashed into a firefighting vehicle after landing late Sunday. Video from the scene shows there is severe damage to the front of the plane. NBC and CNN are both reporting the pilot and co-pilot of the plane were killed, though officials have not commented. A statement from Jazz Aviation, operating as Air Canada Express, says a preliminary passenger list suggests the aircraft was carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew. LaGuardia Airport is currently closed. We'll have more on this developing story throughout the morning. A missing child from Nova Scotia's Hatchet Lake has been found safe. Last night, RCMP issued an emergency alert saying that a child was reported missing from Prospect Road. About an hour later, RCMP issued a release saying the child had been safely located. Meantime, multiple agencies began searching for a missing man in Colchester County, Nova Scotia, on Sunday. Police say 47-year-old Jason Lorette was reported missing Friday. Ground search and rescue teams from 3 counties, as well as civilian and RCMP aircraft, are involved. The Mounties have police dogs in the area as well. A 15-year-old girl from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, is scheduled to appear in court today after schools in Nova Scotia and Manitoba received threats last week. Police allege the girl and a 14-year-old boy from Rivers, Manitoba, had been talking online about their simultaneous desire to attack their local schools. Police said they searched a home in Bridgewater last week and found handwritten plans and imitation weapons, along with a roughly made imitation pipe bomb and assault rifle. Interpol and the FBI warned local police about the threats, with Bridgewater's Parkview Education Center as one of the targets. The cost of diesel increased yet again over the weekend for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. In Nova Scotia, the price of diesel increased Saturday by 10.5 cents. The minimum price in the Halifax area now $2.40.3 a litre. And in New Brunswick, diesel increased Saturday and Sunday. That's a nearly 19-cent increase since Friday. The maximum price now $2.52.4 a litre. Pump prices in Prince Edward Island did not change over the weekend. A month after becoming a household name in her province, Moncton's Courtney Saroux was celebrated by her community over the weekend. The 25-year-old took home 4 medals at the 2026 Olympic Winter Games. CTV's Avery McCrae was at the celebration.
A little snow to start the spring season wasn't about to keep the hundreds of fans away from the chance to meet their hometown hero, including 2025 Special Olympic speed skater Jonathan Henry.
Seen her on TV, watching her to cheer her on, and I'm so proud of her.
Henry was one of many Moncton residents eager for the chance to meet 4-time Olympic medalist Courtney Saroux. The 25-year-old became a household name during the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games last month in Italy, taking home 2 bronze and 2 silver medals in short track speed skating.
My favorite comment when when anyone holds one is like, "Oh my gosh, it's so heavy." I'm like, "Yeah, it's the real deal."
For nearly 2 hours, Saroux met and took pictures with residents, leaving a lasting impact on fans of all ages.
Congratulations for her medals, and she said thank you.
It was fantastic. It's a great event to have her come down here and have a chance to meet her and say congratulations.
It capped off days worth of visits and appearances in her hometown, where she has been inspiring the next generation.
It doesn't even have to be sport related. I had someone tell me that they feel like they could make it somewhere big with music, and they were always kind of concerned that Moncton was too small to do that, and I showed that, you know, we can be a force on the world stage and we can do something really great.
Since Saroux's Olympic success, speed skating in the province has seen an uptick in interest, which is good news for her former team, the Kodiak Cyclones.
We see a lot of excitement, and we see a lot of people that want to come and try the long blade skate.
And for young skaters like Isaac Doe, it gives them confidence they too can succeed, even being from a smaller province.
It's really been amazing, really. Seeing somebody that fast that was in New Brunswick is really something cool.
Everyone's just being so warm and welcoming, and it's really nice to come back to my community.
Avery McCrae, CTV News, Moncton.
Oh my gosh, she's back home.
That was a very uplifting story. Thank you, Amanda.
Wasn't that so? Oh, thank you to Avery McCrae for doing the reporting and storytelling there. But what an inspiration to have back home the young kids. Oh, I'd be so intimidated speed skating around her.
Oh,
but of course, she's so encouraging.
Yeah, no, beautiful. Okay, this is very much newsy news, serious stuff though. In case you missed it, there's an oven recall in Canada with a warning to immediately stop using it if you have one. So the recall is for these specific Frigidaire gas ranges because of an increased burn risk. At least one person has been hurt in Canada and 30 people in the U.S. have reported injury. So the company says the affected gas ranges can experience a delayed ignition of the oven's bake burner. So more than 5,000 of these products have been sold in Canada and almost 175,000 in the U.S. So Frigidaire said that the owners of the affected ovens should contact Electrolux Group to get a new bake burner installed for free. We've got more details on our website if you think you might have one of these ovens, but yeah, don't use it if you do.
Good to know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, still ahead, we're going to have more details on the developing news between that plane collision between a plane and a vehicle at LaGuardia Airport. And we'll have international headlines just ahead, and Latavia has more details on this beautiful spring forecast that we have. There's a little bit of sarcasm in there. Good morning to downtown Charlottetown. Live look at Queen Street, looking nice and clear. The forecast is up next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Happy Monday. The time now is 6:13. We're taking a live look at Quinnebrook, minus 12 degrees starting off your day. Luckily for you, though, you'll be seeing lots of sunshine throughout the day today before a system makes its way over into tonight. It is cool right across the region. Temperatures will rise, but still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. As of right now, it is -3 in Fredericton, -5 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, -3 degrees in Halifax. Much colder this morning in Labrador City at -32 and -6 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement currently in effect along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia. This is until Tuesday morning, expecting a prolonged period of snow at around 10 to 15 centimeters. Also seeing a winter storm warning until Tuesday night for much of Newfoundland. We are expecting around 20 to 35 centimeters of snowfall, and wind gusts will range from 60 to 100 kilometers per hour. A blowing snow advisory also in effect until Tuesday afternoon for the Channel Port aux Basques and vicinity, looking at around 5 to 10 centimeters, and wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour. Over to the orange level winter storm warning until Tuesday afternoon for the Avalon Peninsula, looking at around 20 to 40 centimeters. Wind gusts could get up to 70 kilometers per hour. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. Newfoundland, Labrador seeing lots of sunshine in the forecast today, sticking around throughout your day today. Now into the Maritime region for parts of southern New Brunswick, looking at a chance of some flurry activity. Also into parts of Prince Edward Island, a low chance of some isolated flurries expected throughout your day. And then into Nova Scotia, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain starting off the day. And then what's going to happen later this morning into the afternoon, we're going to see another round of snow movement, becoming a bit more steady, taking us into this evening. We are expecting that snowfall to continue into early Tuesday morning, but transitioning over to flurry activity. So becoming a bit lighter into Tuesday morning, but we do still have flurries in the forecast for Tuesday for much of the region. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we are going to see accumulation, looking at an additional snowfall amount of 1 to 5 centimeters for parts of southern New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. And then for Nova Scotia, around 1 to 15 centimeters. The heaviest going to be into eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. For Newfoundland, looking at around 1 to 30 centimeters, heaviest being 30 to 45 centimeters of accumulation. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at some isolated flurries right across the province today. We are looking at daytime highs between -2 to 1 degree, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for Prince Edward Island, highs between -2 to -1. We are going to see those scattered flurries continue throughout the day. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, flurries transition over to steadier snowfall yet again later this morning into the afternoon. Daytime highs between -2 to -1. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, snow mixed with freezing rain in the morning, transitioning over to steady snow later this morning into the afternoon, and then flurries into the evening. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine today with a high of -8, -2 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland, a mix of sun and cloud. Heavier snowfall moves in later tonight. So Tuesday's forecast, temperatures remain quite cool. A bit of sunshine will return and into Tuesday, but into the mid-afternoon. And then we start to see clearer skies into Tuesday night. Snow remains into Newfoundland, but Wednesday's forecast, starting off the day with sunshine, temperatures warm up. We do have flurries and showers returning for the Maritime region. So that's a look at weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we return to our top story. LaGuardia Airport is closed this morning after an Air Canada Jazz flight from Montreal crashed into a fire truck soon after landing there. We've learned both the pilot and co-pilot died in the collision, but details are still emerging about injuries. There were 72 passengers on board the jet. ABC's Hannah Bata has more.
Overnight, New York's LaGuardia Airport closed after an Air Canada Express flight collided with a fire truck on the tarmac.
There's probably 200 police officers and emergency response vehicles, and that plane is suspended on top of a vehicle.
Stop, truck one. Stop. Stop, truck one. Stop.
Air traffic data shows Air Canada flight 8646 from Montreal landed at LaGuardia at 11:40 p.m. Sometime shortly after touching down, the plane collided nose first with a fire truck.
Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle there. Just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicle's there responding to you now.
Images show the plane's nose destroyed. The entire plane tilted up into the air. LaGuardia closing down immediately. The FAA issuing a ground stop for all planes headed to the airport.
Del 2603, go around. Runway heading 2000.
Air traffic controllers scrambling to divert other planes.
LaGuardia Airport is closed at this time. No aircraft in or out.
Moments before the incident, the truck could be heard asking controllers for permission to cross a runway. A controller apparently giving permission.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company crossing 4 at Delta.
Just last year, the FAA allowed airlines to operate fewer flights into New York due to congestion and air traffic control concerns. Hannah Bata, ABC News, New York.
And travelers heading through U.S. airports are likely to see an added security presence. The U.S. president said he will deploy Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, agents to American airports today to bolster security. The move comes as travelers face massive security lines with hundreds of TSA agents quitting over a government shutdown that's kept them from being paid. The clock is ticking on a bold threat laid out by Trump this weekend. He warned the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants if it doesn't fully open the Strait of Hormuz later today. CTV's Kamil Karamali has more on what this could mean for the conflict and the economy.
Rescuers search for bodies in Tehran after Israeli airstrikes hit Iran's capital overnight. As the missiles continue to fly, so too does a war of words. New threats from Iran today saying it'll completely close the Strait of Hormuz, a critical channel used to ship roughly 1/5 of the world's oil, and that it would attack infrastructure used by Israeli and American allies if the U.S. follows through on its plan to bomb Iran's power plants. Saturday, U.S. President Donald Trump said he would obliterate Iranian energy and power infrastructure if the key shipping route isn't opened up to all countries by Monday night.
That's not going to go down with the Iranians. They are fighting for their lives, and this is just going to drag this war on into a new direction.
Right now, Iranian officials say the Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels except for the ships of enemy countries, referencing Israel, the U.S., and its allies. On NBC's Meet the Press today, the U.S. Treasury Secretary not counting out sending in troops to do the job.
Will the administration use troops to secure the Strait of Hormuz?
As President Trump always does, he's leaving all options on the table.
Each and every day, you lose, just for oil, 20 million barrels a day.
But fears the short-term ripple effects could turn into waves of volatility that last months, drowning the global economy.
You're destroying stuff, producing assets, LNG trains, refineries, wellheads, ports. And so the market is also worried about how long will the damage take to repair.
Across Canada, drivers hit hard at the pumps with gas prices continuing to rise. The blockade half a world away also has farmers here feeling the pinch.
With the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, it's a big fertilizer producing region. It's really not a great time as farmers are ready to get into the fields here in the coming weeks.
Those already paying more for travel, waiting for when the war will be reflected on their grocery bills.
The European Union's foreign policy chief held a phone call with Iran's foreign minister today, expressing the urgent need to open the Strait of Hormuz, saying they're now exploring diplomatic avenues.
CTV's Kamil Karmali reporting in Toronto. A quick break. When we return, we'll have your messy moment from our colleagues at TSN. The Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back after this short break.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Remember that time? Remember waiting to be able to get a chance to see it in a theater because it just kept selling out, selling out.
I didn't realize I was that young. This is like one of my favorite movies since I was younger, and still classic
Yeah,
today.
it is a classic. All right, it is 6:25 and time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello, Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For that, let's head to second-round action of March Madness, where number 5 St. John's was taking on number 4 Kansas. Tied in the dying seconds, Dylan Darling takes the inbound pass and calls game, beating the buzzer. The Johnnies take down the Jayhawks to advance to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999. They're partying like it's 1999. And believe it or not, those were Darling's only points in the ball game. Big enough to earn your must-see moment from Sunday. And the madness doesn't stop there. We've got a full day of coverage of the women's second round coming your way starting at noon Eastern across the TSN network. That does it for us here inside the TSN newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Here's a look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick. A high of -2 degrees today. We do have scattered flurries across the province. On Tuesday, seeing clouds clear out, leaving a bit of sunshine, but also isolated flurries return into the afternoon with a high of 4. 2 degrees on Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud. Yet again, flurries return. For Nova Scotia today, a high of -1. Snow mixed with freezing rain, transitions over to steady rain and then and then flurries into the afternoon. 0 on Tuesday. Snow starts off the day, transitions over to flurries into the afternoon. And then on Wednesday, 4 degrees, flurries and or showers. For Prince Edward Island, -3 degrees today, scattered flurries. Flurries return on Tuesday with a high of -2. 1 degree on Wednesday, flurries continue.
Just ahead in this half hour, a very pet-focused Move Morning Chat. We want to know your pet's given name and what you actually call them. That's coming up on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. It is 6:31 on your Monday morning, and we do have the March break extending for some students in Nova Scotia. The closures starting to come in due to the weather, so we're going to have a list coming up on our website. But the long and short of it, schools in Shelburne County are closed today in Nova Scotia, and schools under the South Shore Regional Centre for Education banner closed today. Some other spots, drivers are using discretion, but we are seeing some school closures today.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you said the weather's going to get worse?
Apparently, yes.
Apparently.
According to the Mother Nature, hey, Mother Nature. Hey, Mama.
I wish I had the connection, man. Clearly, Mother Nature does not listen to me because I do not want this.
Or the calendar.
Right. So as you can see over in the Armdale roundabout, we see additional snowfall that has already fallen. We do have another steadier round of snowfall heading into the afternoon. So something to keep in mind a little bit later on. But This morning, we're still looking at snow mixed with freezing rain, at least for the Halifax area, across parts of Nova Scotia. For the remainder of the Maritime region, we will be dealing with some flurry activities. So something to keep in mind when you are heading out, like Amanda mentioned, slick road conditions for parts of the region. -3 degrees right now in Fredericton, -5 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, -3 in Halifax, -6 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing the wind chill factor in early this morning, and also going to see a risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at that special weather statement currently in effect for areas close to the Atlantic coast. This is until Tuesday morning. We're still expecting some additional snowfall. A winter storm warning also in effect for much of Newfoundland for today until Tuesday night. We will see that system move in later tonight into Tuesday. A blowing snow advisory also in effect. A winter storm warning remains in effect for the Avalon Peninsula until Tuesday afternoon. So here's a look at the satellite and radar. Like I mentioned, we do have some active weather for the Maritime region. Into the evening hours, that's when we'll start to see the system make its way over to parts of Newfoundland. In terms of the wind, it's going to be a bit of a breezy day ahead. As of right now, 31 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 28 in Yarmouth, 24 in Grand Manan and Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 44 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 37 in Yarmouth, 35 in Greenwood, and 33 in Grand Manan and Canso. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. And we continue to follow developing news south of the border, where an Air Canada plane from Montreal has crashed into a fire truck on the runway of New York's LaGuardia Airport. Aviation officials say 76 people were on board the flight, which crashed into a firefighting vehicle after landing late Sunday. Video from the scene shows there is severe damage to the front of the plane. NBC and CNN are both reporting the pilot and co-pilot of the plane were killed, though officials have not commented. A statement from Jazz Aviation, operating as Air Canada Express, says a preliminary passenger list suggests the aircraft was carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew members. LaGuardia Airport is currently closed. A 15-year-old youth from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia is scheduled to appear in court today after schools in Nova Scotia and Manitoba received threats last week. Police allege the youth and a 14-year-old boy from Rivers, Manitoba, have been talking online about their simultaneous desire to attack their local schools. Police said they searched a home in Bridgewater last week and found handwritten plans and imitation weapons, along with a roughly made imitation pipe bomb and assault rifle. Interpol and the FBI warned local police about the threats, with Bridgewater's Parkview Education Center as one of the targets. A missing child from Nova Scotia's Hatchet Lake has been found safe. Last night, RCMP issued an emergency alert saying that a child was reported missing from Prospect Road. About an hour later, RCMP issued a release saying the child had been safely located. Meantime, multiple agencies began searching for a missing man in Nova Scotia's Colchester County on Sunday. Police say 47-year-old Jason Lorette was reported missing Friday. Ground search and rescue teams from 3 counties, as well as civilian and RCMP aircraft, are involved. The Mounties have police dogs in the area as well. The cost of diesel increased yet again over the weekend for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. In Nova Scotia, the price of diesel jumped by 10.5 cents Saturday. The minimum price in the Halifax area now $2.40.3 a litre. In New Brunswick, gas increased by 6.2 cents. The maximum price now $1.82 a litre. And diesel increased both Saturday and Sunday by nearly 19 cents since Friday. The maximum price now $2.52.4. Prices in PEI did not change over the weekend. Saturday was the International Day of the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. In light of this, as well as a milestone anniversary for St. Mary's University, a powerful new exhibition was brought to light at the school. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
These faces and places tell their untold stories and heritage. Each voice speaks to the fullness of the Black Canadian history experience.
Black history runs through all the threads of Canadian history. There's nowhere in Canada that we are not representative, or that we have not lived, or we don't have some kind of history.
Now the new exhibition, Black Threads, is on display at the Patrick Power Library at St. Mary's University.
It's a study in portraiture of some of regular folks, regular Black folks that live across the country, and their portraits combined with interviews.
To celebrate the library's 50th anniversary and bring awareness to the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, the library shared the artist's work.
Use our anniversary as an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than just us. So we're looking at a national art exhibit that brings the voices of African and Black Canadians right across the country.
Donna and David started Black Threads in 2019 when they retired. From coast to coast, they collect stories of Black Canadian experiences and their ancestors, of what it means to be Black in Canada. Their journey started here on the East Coast.
We have no idea who we're going to interview. We just get in the car, pack it up with everything but the kitchen sink, and we just travel from province to province. And every time we see Black people, we stop them, or someone tells us, oh, you should talk to this person, and we just interview people.
While Donna gathers interviews, David captures portraits.
It's really important to put some context as to what it means to be Black in Canada. To be Black in Canada is many different experiences. It's a whole myriad of victories and setbacks and struggles.
A woman by the name of Zeneb Echo pieced the photos together, creating this display. Not only are the artists pleased by this location, but so too is the library.
This provides an opportunity for us to be sharing in the Black Canadian experience.
This project has a lot more ground to cover.
We want to take it out west, and in September there's a big chance that we'll be showing up in Winnipeg somewhere, but we'd also like to show up in other locations.
If anyone has stories to share, they can reach out to the team on their website in the Black Canada. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Emma, for that report. Yeah, on at St. Mary's University in Halifax.
Yeah, speaking of St. Mary's, they made it to the final in the University Cup.
Yes.
But they didn't win. In overtime, they got robbed.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if you're a UQTR fan, you're happy because they won.
But amazing to make it to the finals.
Yes, silver medalist.
Oh yeah. Push into overtime too. Wow.
Amazing, amazing. We had them on the show last week.
Yes.
We were talking about the big University Cup. Okay, today's the first Monday of spring. So here's a Canadian bear who just woke up from hibernation. At least pretty alert. That's Jeannie, who took her time waking up this year. The animal care team at Montreal's Eco Museum Zoo predicted she would emerge from her hibernation last Tuesday, but she decided to wait several more days. Jeannie, we don't blame you one bit.
Not at all.
She's like, it's still snowing. Why am I even awake?
She's like, am I confused?
She is eating, though. That's, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Sometimes it's the stomach that wakes us up, right?
It's true.
That is true.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, still ahead, we have your entertainment headlines on this Monday morning. I hope they're talking about Project Hail Mary, the book turned movie that just came out this weekend.
Yes, it was
Ryan Gosling.
Big success, I believe.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out for sure in the entertainment headlines. But before that, it's the Move Morning Chat. So much fun. Today, we want to know what's in a name, especially your pet's name. We know they have an official name, but what do you actually call them?
My name is Fido. My name is Fluffy. That's not my name.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:43. We're taking a live look at Copaquid Mountains. -4 starting off your day. Roads are a bit wet, so something to keep in mind when you are heading out. We are seeing a bit of flurry activity, snow mixed with freezing rain for the Maritime region. It is cooler also starting off the work week. As of right now, it is -3 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in both Charlottetown and Sydney, -3 degrees early this morning in Halifax, much colder in Labrador City at -32, -6 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do still have a special weather statement in effect along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning, expecting around 10 to 15 centimeters of snowfall. Also seeing a winter storm warning in effect for much of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, expecting around 20 to 35 centimeters of snowfall. Wind gusts will range from 60 to 100, and a blowing snow advisory until this afternoon for the Channel Port of Basque and vicinity. Within that, blowing snow could see 5 to 10 centimeters and wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour. We also have an orange level winter storm warning in effect for the Avalon Peninsula, seeing some heavier snowfall totals at around 20 to 40 centimeters and wind gusts of up to 70. Here's a look at our forecast timeline For Newfoundland and Labrador, lots of sunshine actually throughout your day today. For the Maritime region, a bit of flurry activity for New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island. And then for Nova Scotia, we are looking at snow mixed with freezing rain early in the morning. That snowfall becoming a bit steadier into the afternoon. So something to keep in mind when you are heading out on a commute today. We are going to see that snowfall transition over to flurry activity into the evening hours, taking us into early Tuesday morning, where we do have a chance of flurry activity remaining in the forecast for the Maritime region. And then for Newfoundland, seeing that heavier snowfall make its way over. That will carry into Tuesday's forecast as well. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around additional 1 to 5 centimeters for southern New Brunswick, parts of Prince Edward Island. Heaviest for Nova Scotia being around 10 to 15 centimeters for eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. And looking at around 1 to 30 centimeters, 30 to 45 centimeters expected at its heaviest for parts of Newfoundland. For a forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at a chance of some flurry activity throughout the day today. Daytime highs will range from -2 to +1, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island highs between -2 to -1. Scattered flurries across the island today. Wind gusts remain at 50. Same thing goes for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia. Flurries will transition over to snow into the afternoon, and daytime highs will range from -2 to -1. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain, transitioning over to snow into the afternoon, and then flurry activity into the evening. Daytime highs will range from -2 to 1 degree. And then for Labrador City, lots of sunshine today. Sunny skies with a high of -8, -2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. That heavier snow making its way over to Newfoundland into the evening. For Tuesday's forecast, it will be another cooler day ahead. We do have a chance of some flurry activity that clears out into the evening hours for the Maritime region. Snow remains for much of Newfoundland. And then into Wednesday's forecast, temperatures do warm up, becoming seasonal for our daytime highs. Sunshine returns as well. We also still have a chance of showers and or flurries moving in for the Maritime region. And then into Wednesday night, pretty much the same, looking at that wintry mix taking us into Thursday's forecast. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the Move Morning Chat. Welcome back to the Move Morning Chat. This morning is a very fun one. We're joined by Crash and Sarah in Fredericton. So our question today is, what is your pet's given name? And what do they go by? So very different. Sometimes you adopt a pet and they already have a name. We want to know those details. Crash, Sarah, do you have one for your pet?
I feel like Sarah has multiple names for her dog. This one feels right in her wheelhouse here.
Totally. This is my favorite subject, my dog, the love of my life. So I have a German Shepherd named Jax. He's 11 and a half as of this weekend, which was amazing. He's named after the Sons of Anarchy character because that's kind of around the time he was adopted. But he has the longest list of names you could ever imagine. And 11 years in, they continue to evolve. So there's always room for more. I like to joke that his drag name is Barbara Jones. I don't know where that came from. Do not ask me. It just feels right. But we also call him Barm, which is a lesser version of Parmesan. We call him Mr. Jones, Baby Sir, Jackleberry, Johnson Jefferson, and any kind of J names all put together. He's 11. Like, there's always room for more names, and it just keeps going. Very rarely do we ever call him Jax. Even when I text my boyfriend, I'll often speak to text, and it comes up as Jack, and we all know who that is. We all know, because he's the love of our lives.
I love this.
Great on a motorcycle, too. You have no idea, Jax.
Apparently, yeah. He's got skills. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, my pets, we unfortunately, we just had to say goodbye to our cats. But we had two. Their names were Wayne and Garth. We had a black cat and an orange tabby cat. So Wayne and Garth, based on the SNL skit in the movie Wayne's World. That's awesome. We got them. Yeah. We were trying to think of like duos. My wife and I got them. 17 years we had them, and that was kind of where we were trying to come up with like duo names, and that was it. And we recently just showed our kids the Wayne's World movies. So now they know where the pets' names came from. But we often really just called them Kitty. And to be fair, because they're cats, they didn't respond to any of the names. They just did their own thing. But that's kind of where we went with that.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know exactly how that goes. Suzette, tell us about your kitty.
Yeah, little Dolly. So Dolly's name is Dolly Parton, of course. And but yeah, rarely do I call her Dolly. It's usually Kitty or Monkey.
Oh.
I'll text my husband and go, how's the little monkey doing? You know, so. But she's not even a year yet. So I'm sure more names will come up as the years go on.
On the horizon.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Well, I have two dogs. One, her name's Molly. We usually call her Molly Wally. Yeah, or dog, which is funny because we're like, get out of here, dog. Move, dog. Marge, who's the terror of our household. Ooh. She's smaller, much smaller than Molly. Her name is Marjorie.
Cute.
Sometimes we call her Maggie. And she's also the creature that sleeps under our bed because when she's in trouble, she dives right under the bed and she sleeps under there too most times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sometimes we call her a raccoon too because she loves going through the trash. Yeah.
That's great. That's cute.
Yeah, you can tell the terror of our household right there. All right, we're going to put this question over to our viewers. This is a tough one, or it may be an easy one for you. Tell us your pet's given name and then list off some of the names that they go by. Text us at 10400 and we will share all of your answers, as much as we can at least, later in the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
All right, time now to head over to Hollywood. We'll take a look at those entertainment headlines.
I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us.
Project Hail Mary launched to the top of the weekend box office, taking in $80.5 million. It's the biggest opening ever for Amazon's MGM Studios. The sci-fi drama stars Ryan Gosling as a science teacher who wakes up light years from Earth and sets out on a mission to save the planet.
You want to live here, you better learn pond rules.
What are pond rules?
Oh, I am clearing the rest of the day.
Bouncing into second place was Disney and Pixar's Hoppers. The animated film took in $5.4 million domestically and has grossed more than $168 million worldwide. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. A heartfelt essay from Amanda Peet over the weekend. The 54-year-old actress writing in The New Yorker she was diagnosed with breast cancer last fall. She said she got the news while also dealing with her parents who were both dying in hospice care. Peet says her diagnosis is treatable. And the star of TV's Felicity and the Americans turns 49 today. Happy birthday to Carrie Russell. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
Here's a look at our 3-day forecast starting off in New Brunswick. We do have scattered flurries expected throughout the day today, a high of -2. 4 degrees on Tuesday. We will be seeing some sunny breaks a little bit later in the morning, but also a return chance of isolated flurries into the afternoon. And then cooling back down on Wednesday, 2 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries yet again. Nova Scotia's looking at a high of -1. We do have snow mixed with freezing rain early in the morning. And then into the afternoon, we do have steadier snowfall expected before transitioning over to flurry activity. 0 on Tuesday, as snow will transition over to isolated flurries. And then on Wednesday, looking at a high of 4 degrees, flurries and/or showers. Pretty much the same for Prince Edward Island, -3 degrees with scattered flurries. On Tuesday, we're looking at a bit of sunshine, but also seeing scattered flurries return into the mid to late afternoon. And then on Wednesday, 1 degree, we do have flurries yet again expected throughout the day.
And it's a perfect time to let you know how you can connect with us. Just send us an email at yourmorningatlantic@ctv.ca or text us at 10400. And I'll tell you something, it's been a minute since we received some nice shots of life around you, maybe some weather shots or views this morning, or maybe some evidence of spring. We'd love to see that. Send them our way. They're your choices. We'd love to hear from you. At 6:56, we'll take a little break and return with more of our show right after this.
It's Monday, March 23rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, 2 people killed in a collision between an Air Canada jet from Montreal and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport. We'll have the latest in your news headlines.
And more options for healthcare at your local pharmacy. All pharmacies in Nova Scotia will now be able to diagnose and treat 29 health concerns, and all you need is your health card. We'll get the details coming up this half hour. Those stories and more just ahead on Your Morning Atlantic.
Morning Atlantic, Canada. Happy Monday. The time now is 7 o'clock. It's spring, kinda.
Spring on the calendar.
Exactly. Just not really looking like it outside.
Not romantic spring.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, early spring.
It is.
March spring.
Well, it felt in the Halifax area, it felt springy yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it
got
did.
Bit of sun, and it was nice to be out walking around. The wind, I would call it more of a breeze.
Oh my gosh, so nice to feel that sunlight on your face. Amazing.
You're training for the Blue Nose. You ran a mere 28 kilometers yesterday.
Yeah, I did. I'm tired today.
You did incredible.
Yeah, thanks. The weather was nice. You know what was really nice, though? And going out, I saw so many different people out walking, which was great. The trails. For a while, the trails were absolutely snow-covered and ice-covered, but because we've had some warmer temperatures and some rain, seeing that melt and making the trails accessible to more people again, such a win.
Well, that's great you were able to get out yesterday because they're totally snow-covered again.
I know. I swear, like, I was watching Amanda, like, do her run, like, her updates, and then once she finished, like, a couple hours later, snow moved. It was, like, whiteout conditions. I was like...
That's why I had to get it in.
I don't think it's going to last.
No,
I
it
don't
won't last.
So.
But we do have a darker, gloomier week ahead as of right now.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Womp, womp, yeah. Here's a live look at Antigonish starting off your day. It is -3 degrees outside. We are seeing a bit of flurry activity in your area. Roads are wet. Just something to keep in mind when you are heading out on an early morning commute. It is cooler across the region today, especially when you factor in that wind chill. A bit of a breezy wind for parts of the region as well. We are going to see temperatures warm up and still remaining seasonal for our daytime highs and below seasonal for the most part. -3 for Fredericton early this morning, as well as into Halifax, -5 in Charlottetown and Sydney, -6 degrees in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So it is going to be a bit cooler. You're going to need those layers early on, and we do have a risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador this morning. A special weather statement remains in effect until Tuesday morning for parts of Nova Scotia. We are expecting some additional snowfall into the afternoon. A winter storm warning in effect for much of Newfoundland until Tuesday night with a blowing snow advisory, and an orange level winter storm warning also in effect for the Avalon Peninsula. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Flurry activity for much of the maritime region for Nova Scotia, snow mixed with freezing rain, and then becomes a bit steadier snow into the afternoon before tapering off. We are expecting Newfoundland and Labrador to see lots of sunshine throughout your day today. And then in terms of the wind, a bit of a breezy day expected. As of right now, 31 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 26 in Greenwood with 24 into Grand Manan, St. John, New Brunswick, and Canso. Wind gusts getting up to 44 in Lunenburg, 35 in Halifax and Greenwood, as well as into St. John, New Brunswick. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. And we continue to follow developing news south of the border, where 2 pilots are dead after an Air Canada regional jet from Montreal crashed into a rescue vehicle as they were landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport late last night.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
That update coming just a moment ago from officials. Video from the scene shows the jet with its nose up in the air and its cockpit destroyed, with wires dangling from the fuselage. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which oversees the airport, says the Air Canada Express plane with 72 passengers and 4 crew aboard hit a fire truck that was responding to a separate emergency aboard a Delta flight. 2 people in the fire truck were injured and were among the 41 people taken to hospital. Most have since been released, but 9 remain hospitalized and some are in serious condition. Back here in the Maritimes, it may be spring, but many Maritimers are waking up to another blast of winter weather. Here's a look at conditions in the HRM before the sun rose this morning. In Nova Scotia, it is an extended March break for some students. All schools under the South Shore school banner are closed today, and classes are also canceled for schools in Shelburne County. Most schools in Cape Breton will also dismiss 1 hour early due to anticipated deteriorating weather conditions. And NSCC's Pictou campus and Strait Area campus are also closed today. Latavia will have more on the forecast coming up. A 15-year-old girl from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia is scheduled to appear in court today after schools in Nova Scotia and Manitoba received threats last week. Police allege the youth and a 14-year-old boy from Rivers, Manitoba had been talking online about their simultaneous desire to attack their local schools. Police said they searched a home in Bridgewater last week and found handwritten plans and imitation weapons, along with a roughly made imitation pipe bomb and assault rifle. Interpol and the FBI warned local police about the threats, with Bridgewater's Parkview Education Center as one of the targets. The cost of diesel increased yet again over the weekend for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. In Nova Scotia, the price of diesel increased Saturday by 10.5 cents. The minimum price in the Halifax area now $2.40.3 a litre. In New Brunswick, gas increased by 6.2 cents, the maximum price now $1.82. And diesel increased Saturday and Sunday. That's an increase of nearly 19 cents since Friday. The maximum price now $2.52.4. Pump prices in PEI did not change over the weekend. Moncton's Courtney Saroux became a household name in New Brunswick and around the Maritimes thanks to her recent Olympic success. And officials are already looking for the next Olympian from that province. CTV's Avery McRae brings us to the RBC Training Ground event in Fredericton, where young athletes look to make their mark.
Young New Brunswickers have their shoes tied tight Sunday at UNB in hopes of making a strong first step in what could be the start of their Olympic journey.
Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. There's some really nice people, really nice things that we can use to test ourselves.
I'm trying to get better at my sport, so I thought this would really help me. Even though I might not be, selected, it's still fun to be out here and really test my abilities.
Through feats of strength, speed, power, and endurance, the RBC Training Ground program travels across Canada in hopes of identifying future Olympic athletes from age 14 to 25. Over the program's 11 years, 28 future Olympians have been found, producing 12 medals for the country.
There's sports that are late entry sports or not necessarily in the school system that it's hard to start. So, for example, maybe rowing, it's not something that you would start when you're 12, but you maybe you're a really good basketball player and you're really, really strong, then that would transfer over to rowing. So it's a way to transfer to some of those more niche sports and find athletes that way.
One of those athletes who has seen her Olympic pathway accelerate thanks to the program is kayak sprinter Maren Bradley, who took part in the training ground years ago. She's now preparing for her Olympic debut at the 2028 Los Angeles Games.
Something I wish I did more that I think young athletes should do is ask questions. Ask away, learn new things, talk about sports you'd like to try, talk about sports that you've done in the past. This is a great opportunity to really broaden your spectrum of sports.
The top 100 Canadian athletes identified through this event will compete in a national final later this year, where the top 35 will receive funding to further develop their sport. The training ground is slated to come to Halifax at the end of May. Avery McRae, CTV News, Fredericton.
I mean, who knows? In that video, we could have been seeing a future Olympian.
That's so cool.
Absolutely. The sneakers of a star.
Oh, I know. And LA will be here before you know it.
Oh, gosh, it sure will.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, speaking of a star, potential anyway, a Canadian auctioneer is getting another crack at the World Championship. Easy for him to say. Brennan Jack of Saskatchewan will be heading south to the World Livestock Auctioneer Championships this June. It will be his 11th time there, and he won't be the only Canadian. Actually, there's another auctioneer from southern Alberta who will be in the running as well. Jack says there's an art to it, and a good auctioneer knows the product they're selling and has a clear chant that can move sales along. I don't understand what he's saying.
Not one bit.
No.
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 I mean, if he was singing the Grundy County auction, maybe I'd understand what he was saying.
Absolutely. It's still really cool. I've always wondered, locally there are people who can do this too, but it's
so cool.
What a skill. Yeah.
Right? A skill to get people amped up and excited and get moving. Moving.
Moving. Oh, Amanda, thank you.
I'm back. Week off. Okay. Still ahead, we'll have your national and international news headlines. Latavia will have another look at this blast of winter weather. A little bit of a light blasting, I suppose. But as we say, it is always beautiful in Bedeck with the fresh snow here. Isn't it gorgeous? Come on. Got to enjoy it while we can, right? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Enjoy the snow while you can.
morning. The time now is 7:13. We're taking a live look at Meat Cove, a bit of sunshine there. Starting off at -5 degrees early this morning, so it is a bit cool. And we are going to see some active weather across parts of the Maritime region starting off the day. As of right now, -3 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -4 in Sydney, as well as into Halifax, -33 degrees in Labrador City, and -6 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do still have a special weather statement currently in effect for parts of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning, expecting around 10 to 15 centimeters of snowfall. We do have a winter storm warning in effect for much of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, looking at around 20 to 35 centimeters of snow accumulation. Wind gusts could get up to 100 kilometers per hour. A blowing snow advisory also in effect for Channel Porter Baskin vicinity until Tuesday afternoon. Could see 5 to 10 centimeters within that blowing snow, wind gusts of 60. And an orange level winter storm warning for the Avalon Peninsula until Tuesday afternoon. Could see up to 40 centimeters of snowfall, wind gusts getting up to 70 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. You can see here, Newfoundland, Labrador, lots of sunshine remaining throughout your day today for your forecast. For the Maritime region, we do have a bit of flurry activity for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. For the Maritime region, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain early on. Could become a bit steadier of that snowfall into the afternoon before transitioning over to flurry activity into the evening. This will take us into early Tuesday morning, rather. I'm jumping ahead there, where we are going to see some snowfall remain for Cape Breton Island and moving over to Newfoundland, looking at snow at times heavy with freezing rain as well. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we're looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. For the heaviest for Nova Scotia, looking at around 10 to 15 centimeters for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. And then for Newfoundland, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation, heaviest around 15 to 45 centimeters. For a forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at a chance of some isolated flurries throughout your day today. Daytime highs will range from -2 to 1 degree, wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour expected. For Prince Edward Island, scattered flurries expected today, daytime highs between -2 to -1. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at flurries that become steadier snowfall into the afternoon, carrying into Tuesday as well. We are looking at daytime highs that will range from -2 to -1. For the rest of Nova Scotia, snow mixed with freezing rain transitions over to snow into the afternoon, then transitions over to lighter flurry activity into the evening. Daytime highs between -2 to +1. And then for Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day, looking at a high of -8 degrees, -2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, and then becoming heavier snowfall as the system makes its way over into the evening. Tuesday's forecast, another cooler day ahead. We do see sunshine return for much of the Maritime region. Still holding on to some snowfall for Cape Breton Island. For Newfoundland, looking at a bit of mixed precipitation expected. And then into Wednesday, early Wednesday morning, we do have showers and or flurries returning for parts of Nova Scotia. That will continue throughout the day. And then starting to see that sunshine into Wednesday afternoon, with another system making its way over into Wednesday night, snow and or rain expected to move in. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we continue to follow developing news stateside. 2 pilots are dead after an Air Canada regional jet from Montreal crashed into a rescue vehicle as they were landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport late last night.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
That update coming from officials just in the past 30 minutes. A video from the scene shows the jet with its nose up in the air and its cockpit destroyed, with wires dangling from the fuselage. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which oversees the airport, says the Air Canada Express plane with 72 passengers and 4 crew aboard hit a fire truck that was responding to a separate emergency aboard a Delta flight. 2 people in the fire truck were injured and were among the 41 people taken to hospital. Most have since been released, but 9 remain hospitalized and some are in serious condition. Savannah Guthrie is renewing her plea for clues into the disappearance of her mother, Nancy. The Today Show host posted on social media, "Someone may hold the key to finding the resolution in this case," adding, "We miss our mom with every breath and we cannot be in peace until she is home." Nancy Guthrie was reported missing on February 1st. Authorities believe the 84-year-old was taken against her will. The Guthrie family has offered a $1 million reward for information leading to her recovery. The clock is ticking on a bold threat laid out by U.S. President Donald Trump over the weekend. He warned the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants if it doesn't fully open the Strait of Hormuz later today. CTV's Camille Karamali has more on what this could mean for the conflict and the economy.
Rescuers search for bodies in Tehran after Israeli airstrikes hit Iran's capital overnight. As the missiles continue to fly, so too does a war of words. New threats from Iran today saying it'll completely close the Strait of Hormuz, a critical channel used to ship roughly 1/5 of the world's oil, and that it would attack infrastructure used by Israeli and American allies if the U.S. follows through on its plan to bomb Iran's power plants. Saturday, U.S. President Donald Trump said he would obliterate Iranian energy and power infrastructure if the key shipping route isn't opened up to all countries by Monday night.
That's not going to go down with the Iranians. They are fighting for their lives, and this is just going to drag this war on into a new direction.
Right now, Iranian officials say the Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels except for the ships of enemy countries, referencing Israel, the U.S., and its allies. On NBC's Meet the Press today, the U.S. Treasury Secretary not counting out sending in troops to do the job.
Will the administration use troops to secure the Strait of Hormuz?
As President Trump always does, he's leaving all options on the table.
Each and every day, you lose, just for oil, 20 million barrels a day.
But fears the short-term ripple effects could turn into waves of volatility that last months, drowning the global economy.
You're destroying stuff, producing assets, LNG trains, refineries, wellheads, ports. And so the market is also worried about how long will the damage take to repair.
Across Canada, drivers hit hard at the pumps with gas prices continuing to rise. The blockade half a world away also has farmers here feeling the pinch.
With the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, it's a big fertilizer producing region. It's really not a great time as farmers are ready to get into the fields here in the coming weeks.
Those already paying more for travel, waiting for when the war will be reflected on their grocery bills. The European Union's foreign policy chief held a phone call with Iran's foreign minister today, expressing the urgent need to open the Strait of Hormuz, saying they're now exploring diplomatic avenues.
CTV's Camille Karamali reporting in Toronto. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll talk about the growing role of pharmacists in Nova Scotia. That is coming up on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
March is Pharmacy Appreciation Month, and we love this month to shine a spotlight on the work that pharmacists are doing. I'm joined now by Kendra Cotton, who is a pharmacist here in Hammonds Plains, and we're at the primary care clinic portion of the pharmacy, which we highlighted last year, doing all kinds of wonderful things, and they still are. But the great news is there are expanded services available to Nova Scotians that you may not know are covered by your health card. Isn't that right, Kendra?
That's right, yes. There's now 29 services available through pharmacy clinics and through pharmacies across Nova Scotia. So we've expanded, and there's things that a lot of patients may not know about that are being offered through their pharmacies now. Things such as urinary tract infections, mild skin conditions like eczema, skin rashes, acne. All of those things now can be assessed and treated by your pharmacist.
So in a nutshell, healthcare is more accessible to people for 29 different common ailments and conditions that they might have to see a doctor for. They can now see a pharmacist for to help them as well.
That's right. Last year, there was 650,000 pharmacy services provided by pharmacy care teams. So it's really growing, and it's exciting for all pharmacists to be doing.
All right. We don't have time to mention all 29 ailments that you can be seen for with a pharmacist, but let's name a couple that surprised me. Okay. Contraception.
Yes, so pharmacists can assess and prescribe contraception for patients. There's shingles assessments a lot of patients don't know about. So you can come in if you think you have a rash, a pharmacist can look at it and decide if it's a shingles infection and treat that appropriately.
Amazing. I was surprised to see that Lyme disease was on the list.
Yes, that's right. So if you've been bitten by a tick, you can come in and have a pharmacist assess the situation and decide if you need preventative treatment to prevent early Lyme disease. Vaccines are also a great service provided prescribed by a pharmacist. So things, not just travel vaccines, a lot of patients think of, but publicly funded vaccines. So you can come in for your flu or COVID shot. RSV was the new vaccine approved for patients over 75 this year. That can be given in a pharmacy. Lupron injections. There's multiple medications that can be given through a pharmacy clinic.
Okay, I'm going to name a couple more because this is fun.
Yeah.
Pink eye.
Pink eye, yes. So a lot of parents panic. They see their child getting an eye irritation. Where do they go? Pharmacists can assess pink eye.
If someone's out there thinking, oh, gosh, can the pharmacist help me with these conditions? How would they find out what you can help them with?
The best thing to do is to call your pharmacy and ask directly what is available at their pharmacy, because as you said, not every pharmacy has a clinic. So there's 29 common conditions that can be assessed by most pharmacies across the province now. Within the clinics, there's extra services. So they should be calling the pharmacy to find out exactly what is available.
How has it changed the lives of the people that you serve?
I think the fact that it's accessible and efficient is the biggest. The patients can call. We have same-day appointments, or they can be seen within a day to get their condition assessed.
I don't have a doctor, so it's a very beneficial and easy to do, an easy place to come to, and very friendly, and I like it very much. I think it's a great idea and very convenient and easy to do, and it works.
Well, glad to hear Earl's having a great experience. So what other primary care services are available?
Yeah, so within these clinics, we do a few extra services. So chronic condition management, so for patients with high blood pressure, diabetes that need extra assistance or education with those programs. There's also ear, nose, and throat assessments, so we can assess and treat for ear infections, sinus infections, strep throat assessments. Those are all available. We're not filling a gap here. I guess we want people to know this is another pathway to healthcare, and it's accessible to everybody with a valid Nova Scotia health card.
Okay, fantastic. So people at home, if they're wondering which pharmacies offer which services, where can they get that information?
Yeah, so the best place to go is our website. So it's pans.ns.ca. There you'll find a list of all pharmacies across the province, and included in that is what services those pharmacies provide.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for letting us visit your clinic today.
No problem. It was lovely to meet you.
And we appreciate you because, of course, it is Pharmacy Appreciation Month.
Yes, it is, and we feel very fortunate as pharmacists to be able to help in this way.
Coming up this half hour, Easter eggs with a difference. We'll meet a mother and daughter duo who are using fabric to create reusable little eggs, perfect for your celebrations. That's coming up in 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Show. So glad you could join us 7:33 already on this first official day of spring. I mean, Monday of spring.
Monday, yeah.
But first full week of spring. So not exactly as springy as maybe some of us would like.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are seeing cooler temperatures remaining below seasonal. We do have some active weather across the Maritime region at least. Here's a live look at Sandy Point, a very cloudy and cold start to your day. We are going to see temperatures warm up, but as I mentioned, still remaining below the freezing mark for many communities. As of right now, it is going to remain cold. We do have that active weather, so keep that in mind when you are heading out on an early morning commute. -3 degrees in Fredericton with -5 starting off your day in Charlottetown. -4 degrees in Sydney and Halifax. -22 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. And -9 in Gander. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in early this morning across Atlantic Canada with a risk of frostbite early on for parts of Labrador. A special weather statement remains in effect along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning. We also have a winter storm warning for much of Newfoundland until Tuesday night with a blowing snow advisory as well. And an orange level winter storm warning for the Avalon Peninsula until Tuesday afternoon. So here's a look at the current system tracking across the Maritime region. A chance of flurries for parts of the Maritimes. For Nova Scotia, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain, transitioning over to a bit of a steadier snowfall into the afternoon before flurry activity. Newfoundland and Labrador, though, lots of sunshine throughout your day today. In terms of the wind, it will be a bit breezy across the Maritime region. 33 kilometers per hour right now in Lunenburg, 28 into Yarmouth, 30 in North Cape with 22 in St. John, New Brunswick. Wind gusts getting up to 43 right now in Greenwood, 46 in Lunenburg, and 37 in St. John. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
And we continue to follow our top story this morning. Stateside, 2 pilots are dead after an Air Canada regional jet from Montreal crashed into a rescue vehicle as they were landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport late last night.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
Video from the scene shows the jet with its nose up in the air and its cockpit destroyed with wires dangling from the fuselage. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which oversees the airport, says the Air Canada Express plane with 72 passengers and 4 crew aboard hit a fire truck that was responding to a separate emergency aboard a Delta flight. 2 people in the fire truck were injured and were among the 41 people taken to hospital. Most have since been released, but 9 remain hospitalized and some are in serious condition. It may be spring, but many Maritimers are waking up to another blast of winter weather. Here's a look at conditions in the HRM this morning before the sun was up. Now in Nova Scotia, it is an extended March break for some students. All schools under the South Shore School banner are closed today, and classes are also canceled for schools in Shelburne County. Most schools in Cape Breton will also dismiss 1 hour early today due to anticipated deteriorating weather conditions this afternoon. NSCC's Pictou campus and Strait Area campus are also closed today, and we're also hearing of more school closures in the Strait Area. You can find an up-to-date list on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. A missing child from Nova Scotia's Hatchet Lake has been found safe. Last night, RCMP issued an emergency alert saying that a child was reported missing from Prospect Road. An hour later, RCMP issued a release saying the child had been safely located. Meantime, multiple agencies began searching for a missing man in Colchester County, Nova Scotia on Sunday. Police say 47-year-old Jason Lorette was reported missing Friday. Ground search and rescue teams from 3 counties, as well as civilian and RCMP aircraft, are involved. The Mounties have police dogs in the area as well. A 15-year-old girl from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia is scheduled to appear in court today after schools in Nova Scotia and Manitoba received threats last week. Police allege the youth and a 14-year-old boy from Rivers, Manitoba have been talking online about their simultaneous desire to attack their local schools. Police said they searched a home in Bridgewater last week and found handwritten plans and imitation weapons, along with a roughly made imitation pipe bomb and assault rifle. Interpol and the FBI warned local police about the threats, with Bridgewater's Parkview Education Center as one of the targets. The cost of diesel increased yet again over the weekend in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Beginning with Nova Scotia, the price of diesel increased Saturday by 10.5 cents. The minimum price in the Halifax area now $2.40.3 a liter. In New Brunswick, gas increased by 6.2 cents. The maximum price now $1.82 a liter. And diesel increased Saturday and Sunday. That's an increase of nearly 19 cents since Friday. The maximum price now $2.52.4 a liter. Pump prices and PEI did not change over the weekend. Finally, what's old is new again. Halifax's largest vintage and antique show took place this weekend at the Lighthouse Arts Centre. CTV's Emma Convey stopped in to see all the unique finds and what made this year such a success.
Antique paintings, timeless china, and one-of-a-kind dresses. Just a few nostalgic pieces found at Halifax's Spring Vintage Show this weekend.
We would do markets mixed in with makers, and we just kind of didn't fit in. We were little misfits, so we decided to start our own show because we knew there was enough interest in vintage, and I'm sure you're aware over the last few years it's really taken off.
The Curio Collective brought this show to light in 2019. This year they have 47 vendors and expect 2,000 people to attend. Some of the proceeds from ticket sales will go to the Mi'kmaq Friendship Centre.
I think the most exciting thing about this year is the fact that we keep growing. This time we have the lobby filled with vendors, and I'm just trying to think, how can I keep expanding this space?
Katie Mullins, who owns and operates the Change Room, has been taking part in this show for the past 3 years.
Plus sizes is what I try to focus on. Obviously, I love color and pattern. I like to say that I'm a mix of like toddler meets grandma.
This show not only opens doors for her business, but it's a way to connect with others with the same passion.
Curio specifically specifically is so special because it's like a bunch of your friends getting together and you get to spend the whole weekend together and just kind of try stuff on and explore what everybody else has to offer.
It wasn't just vintage lovers from Halifax that stopped in. Organizers say shoppers are from all over the region, each one on their own hunt.
A lot of interesting stuff, the furniture, the home decor, they're really nice. Also lots of really nice 80s dress, they're so pretty.
Really love to get things that have been already used and pre-loved, and I think they're just really cute. I love like all the little duck looking things, and then I just love giving things a new home rather than sending them to the dump.
Stuff for my house, stuff like clothes, gifts for people. It's mainly why I'm here today, because I got a lot of birthdays this month.
And with the growing interest in thrifted goods, organizers hope for an even bigger turnout next year. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
We're looking like, I'll take that and that.
Oh, yeah, I love the show.
That,
I almost go every time. But didn't go this time, though.
Ooh.
There's some good stuff. All right, if you're planning a spring visit across the pond to London, you should really check out Kew Gardens.
Absolutely horrible winter. We didn't see sun for weeks and weeks and weeks. And we had all that rain. But now we're reaping the benefits of that with these magnolia blooms.
Doesn't sound great, but it sounds okay when he says it. Like it does sound like they did have a nasty winter in the UK, but now pink magnolias and yellow daffodils are blooming against a backdrop of a blue sky. Officials with the gardens are encouraging visitors to listen closely to the sounds of blossom. Students from the Royal College of Music have composed special music for different parts of the garden to enhance the blooms this spring.
Well, that sounds delightful.
I need to go. Put it on the bucket list, ladies.
Ooh, add it. And too, you know, I always think of the late Queen and her love of corgis. Maybe you have a corgi at home. It's kind of the topic of our Move Morning Chat because we want to know if you have a corgi, what's their name? Tell us your pet's given name, but then tell us what you actually call them. We know we have pet names for our pets. 10400 is the number. We will have the answers a little later.
And guess what? It's time to announce the winner of our Team Up with the Thunderbirds contest. Now, here's a little reminder of what you could win. You and 3 friends could be cheering on the Halifax National Lacrosse League team as they face off against the Rochester Nighthawks on Saturday, April 4th. One lucky viewer will win a prize package that includes 4 lower bowl tickets, the chance to win the pregame warm-up from the penalty box, a night at the Halifax Marriott Harbourfront Hotel, and a $100 gift card to the Harbourstone Poorhouse restaurant. So the winner is Ernie Hatfield of Berwick, Nova Scotia.
Wow, congratulations, Ernie.
Ernie coming in from the Big Apple.
Yeah.
To join us. That's
Love
awesome.
that.
Ernie, you and your friends or family, you're going to have a great time. If you haven't been to a Thunderbirds game, what are you waiting for? It is so exciting.
Just went to the Poorhouse and had a delicious meal.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, get the kind of homemade potato chips, Ernie. You won't be sad.
Ooh, there you go.
Yum.
Advice from the wise. Still ahead on this Monday, we're going to have another break. Latavia lets us know how much of this winter weather we're going to expect on this first Monday of spring. The forecast is coming up next, and here's a live look at Brundage Point, New Brunswick. The weather not impacting ferry service around here. The forecast with Latavia is next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Happy Monday. The time now is 7:45. We're taking a live look at Maitland, starting off at -5 degrees this morning. It is quite cloudy. We're still expecting some active weather in your areas. Just something to keep in mind when you are heading out on an early morning commute. It is quite cool right across the region as we start off a new work week. As of right now, -3 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, with -4 in Sydney and Halifax, -6 degrees starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. A special weather statement currently remains for the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning, expecting around 10 to 15 centimeters of snowfall. We do also have a winter storm warning for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night, expecting around 20 to 35 centimeters of snow, and wind gusts will range from 60 to 100 kilometers per hour. A blowing snow advisory for the Channel Port aux Basques and vicinity until Tuesday afternoon, looking at around 5 to 10 centimeters within that blowing snow. Wind gusts could get up to 60 kilometers per hour. And an orange level winter storm warning for the Avalon Peninsula, looking at around 20 to 40 centimeters of snowfall, and wind gusts can range from 60 to 70. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. Lots of sunshine for Newfoundland and Labrador today, but within the Maritime region, a cloudy start to the day. We are looking at a chance of some flurry activity for parts of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and then for Nova Scotia, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain early on, and then transitions over to some steadier snowfall into the afternoon before switching over to flurry activity into the evening. Now, we are expecting some snowfall to remain in Cape Breton Island, moving over to Newfoundland, looking at some mixed precipitation into Tuesday's forecast. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we're looking at an additional 1 to 5 centimeters for parts of southern New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and then for Nova Scotia, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation. The heaviest being into eastern Nova Scotia at around 10 to 15 centimeters, as well as into Cape Breton Island. And then for Labrador, looking at around 1 to 45 centimeters of snowfall for parts of that province. For New Brunswick today, daytime highs will range from -2 to +1. We do have some isolated flurries tracking across the province. Wind out of the northeast, 30 gusting to 50. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between -2 to -1. Scattered flurries expected today. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, flurries start off the day, transitions over to snow into the afternoon and evening. Daytime highs will range from -2 to -1. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between -2 to +1, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain early on, transitioning over to snow, and then tapering off to flurries into the evening. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine today with a high of -8, -2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and clouds, seeing this system make its way over to Newfoundland into the evening, bringing some heavy snow. Tuesday's forecast remains cool for our daytime highs yet again. We will be seeing sunshine return for much of the Maritime region, across much of Labrador as well. Still holding on to some snowfall for Cape Breton, as well as into Newfoundland, some mixed precipitation expected. And then into early Wednesday morning, showers and flurries return for parts of Nova Scotia. And then into the afternoon, pretty much the same, but we will be seeing some sunshine return. Seasonal daytime highs with another low pressure system headed our way into the evening, looking at snow and or rain, Crystal.
All right, we'll take it as it comes, Latavia. It's 7:50. With Easter coming up, these people in Germany are busy dyeing eggs like it's their job, because it is. Here's a sneak peek behind the scenes at the world's oldest egg dyeing facility in Erzberg. The BM factory has been family-owned since the early 50s, making colorful Easter eggs that have brought Easter joy for generations. All the eggs used are free-range and organic, and the color mixture is a 70-year-old family secret. Found these visuals, thought you'd find them as much fun as I do. Now, this spring, there's a more sustainable alternative for those looking to hide treats for an Easter egg hunt. A mother-daughter duo started creating reusable eggs out of fabric, and the demand has been springing up ever since. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
It begins with a simple choice of fabric.
So these have been really popular.
Then it's on to tracing, cutting, and sewing each one together.
One piece that's 6 inches long and one that's 6.5, and I just stack them together.
Creating a fillable, reusable fabric Easter egg.
I've probably sewn and mailed out probably 800 or 900 eggs, which is unbelievable.
Tanya Neary first started Oh Sweet Madeline, a handmade sewn goods and clothing business, back in 2008. The name was inspired by her daughter. Eggs were something she thought of a few years ago, but this year their popularity peaked.
I was a stay-at-home mom. I still am, but I was looking for something to do. So I started doing felted sweaters, and I would buy little packets of scrap fabric off of Etsy and make little pouches, and I started attending markets, and then over the years it just kind of grew. And
in 2023, her daughter Madeline came on board to create and strengthen their social media following, and the business took off.
Last year, we had a viral TikTok that reached 300,000 people about the eggs. And then again, this year I posted in a Made in Canada group, which reached 200,000 people, got 1,700 likes, and the orders just kept coming in.
They have everything from floral to nautical to animals and bright colors. Each one is $2.50 at markets and online. But for them, it's also about sustainability and supporting local.
It's just a nice alternative for people, and they're cute, and you don't have to worry about them breaking into tiny pieces and ending up in the landfill.
Every egg they create, their family's bond strengthens. Madeline says she's proud to help push her mom out of her shell.
Definitely makes us closer, and, you know, we're both kind of We may butt heads sometimes, but we still love each other.
The mother-daughter duo plans to continue to crack new records one stitch at a time. Emma Convey, CTV News, Mount Uniacke, Nova Scotia.
An excellent idea. Thank you so much, Emma. Health and medical news now. The benefits of limiting screen time for children. It's one of the topics in Your Health with Suzette Balivo.
The Canadian Pediatric Society observed a cohort of children in 2019 and 2023. 44% of the kids followed the society's guidelines for how much time they spend in front of digital devices, while 12% did not. Children who followed the guidelines both years came out on top in a number of physical and mental health categories. The society says time limits vary by age, but it's the quality of screen time that matters most. For some people, staying up late feels natural, but new research suggests it may come with hidden heart risk. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that night owls were 79% more likely to have unhealthy heart scores based on their diet, exercise, sleep, smoking, weight, blood pressure, blood fats, and blood sugar. Researchers found that these night owls were 16% more likely to have a heart attack or stroke. About 3/4 of that risk was linked to lifestyle habits, especially smoking, poor sleep, unhealthy diet, and high blood sugar. Experts say the goal isn't to force night owls to become morning people. Instead, focus on what matters most: quitting smoking, getting enough sleep, eating healthier foods, staying active, and keeping blood sugar and weight in check. Small changes, even for late sleepers, can add up to better heart health over time.
We have no milestone to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. All right, well, they say a cat has 9 lives, but thanks to a love of eating hair elastics, one feline named Midnight may only have 8 left.
The kitty ate more than 24 hair ties and nearly lost her life, but thanks to a generous rescue organization, Midnight has a new lease on life. Here's ABC's Danny New.
Cats can crave some surprising foods, and also even non-foods.
I've been in rescue for 13 years now. This is an exceptional case. I've never seen this in my entire life.
Allison here works at Florida animal shelter Halo, which has been getting a lot of attention recently for this little Hoover named Midnight. See this photo? You're looking at 26 hair ties, and Midnight ate all of them.
When you see a picture of them laid out on the medical tray, you're like, oh my gosh.
Here's what happened. Last week, Allison says they got a call from a local vet who said Midnight's owner could not pay for a blockage removal surgery and had instead scheduled her for euthanasia. However, the vet was adamant he really thought this 6-year-old fighter could get through this.
So then you guys fronted the bill?
Yes.
That's mighty kind of you.
We at Halo have a bunch of bleeding hearts.
So Halo paid for the surgery, and next thing you know, there's a tray with 26 hair ties explaining that blockage.
If it's not a world record, it should be.
And hopefully never broken.
And never broken. Yes, absolutely.
And for the record, I spoke with a veterinarian about signs to look out for if you think your cat may have a blockage. He says if your cat is eating less, vomiting, hiding in unusual places, or standing with a weird hunched posture, those could all be signs of a blockage. As you can see, about a week later, Midnight is doing A-OK. In fact, Allison says she is eating a whole lot, so clearly a big appetite is quite typical for her.
She looks really good. She's still got her cone on because obviously she has some pretty serious sutures, but she's doing well. She's recuperating nicely.
The vet told me hair ties and also rubber bands can both be very dangerous for cats, so I made sure to tell my black cat, Pepper, do not go near that scrunchie, young lady. But then she immediately got up and was like, ooh, let me investigate that finger real quick. Hopefully the lesson landed. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
All right, here's a gloomy look at Yarmouth starting off the day. We'll have your full forecast just ahead. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this.
It's Monday, March 23rd. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, 2 people killed in a collision between an Air Canada jet from Montreal and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And a widow's charm. We'll chat with PEI author Caitlin Paxton about her debut novel and find out what inspired the fantasy romance. That's a little later in this half hour. That's all coming up on the Monday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning, Atlantic Canada. Hope you had a great weekend and start to the spring season as well. I mean, it's early spring in late March, so what are you going to get? A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Still March. March, I always think it's a pretty girl with a cruel personality.
Just like me. I'm just teasing.
Pretty girl.
Pretty girl for sure.
But
also our March baby as well. Lots of March babies.
Oh my goodness, we have so many March babies even in our own building.
Yes.
Wild.
I love that about a month that can be a little iffy. Like I'm in November, so same thing, only different month. But
I love November.
when it's a crummy month, like you have a birthday in it, it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, now that that's all over, it's like, no, get out of March.
Yeah, well,
we're almost out of it.
It's true. And at the end of the month, maybe you can buy a new book, like our next guest coming up, and you can cozy on in still with a good read.
Amanda will be leading that conversation. Can't wait to chat with Kate. It's Caitlin, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't wait.
On PEI, debut novel.
I love reading about warmer weather.
This looks like a fun place to be in warmer weather.
Yeah, it does. Gorgeous, I'm sure, in spring. Real spring. Here's a look at Walton early this morning. It is cool starting off your day and a bit cloudy as well. Something to keep in mind is that we do still have some active weather tracking across the maritime region, and temperatures will rise, but still remaining below the freezing mark for much of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, it is -3 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax and Sydney, -6 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Still seeing the wind chill factor in early this morning with a risk of frostbite as well for parts of Labrador. A special weather statement remains in effect along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning. We do now have a winter storm warning for parts of Newfoundland, a blowing snow advisory, as well as an orange level winter storm warning for parts of Newfoundland. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Flurries for the most part for the maritime region, but we do have snow mixed with freezing rain for parts of Nova Scotia, transitioning over to steadier snow into the afternoon. Newfoundland and Labrador, though, looking at lots of sunshine throughout your day today. In terms of the wind, it's going to be a bit breezy for all 3 maritime provinces. As of right now, sustained wind 33 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 30 into Greenwood, as well as into Yarmouth and North Cape. Wind gusts getting up to 46 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg, 44 in Greenwood, 37 into St. John. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
2 Air Canada pilots have been killed in a crash at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
In accordance with our emergency plan, our mutual aid partners, FDNY and NYPD, immediately responded. Initial numbers indicate that 41 passengers and crew were transported to the hospital, as well as the ARF officers.
The crash happened as the plane was landing last night at around 11:40 p.m. Officials say the jet struck a Port Authority fire truck. The fire truck was responding to another incident on the runway. 72 passengers and 4 crew members were on board at the time of the crash. Officials say 41 people were taken to hospital, some with serious injuries. 2 people who were in the fire truck were also hurt. The National Transportation Safety Board is now investigating, and the airport is expected to be closed until at least 2 o'clock this afternoon. Now, it may be spring, but Maritimers waking up to another blast of winter weather. Here's a look at conditions early this morning in the HRM. Now in Nova Scotia, it is an extended March break for some students. All schools under the South Shore school banner are closed today, and classes are also canceled for schools in Shelburne County. Most schools in Cape Breton and the Strait area will dismiss students 1 hour early. And NSEC's Pictou campus and Strait area campus are also closed today. A 15-year-old girl from Bridgewater, Nova Scotia is scheduled to appear in court today after schools in Nova Scotia and Manitoba received threats last week. Police allege the youth and a 14-year-old boy from Rivers, Manitoba have been talking online about their simultaneous desire to attack their local schools. Police said they searched a home in Bridgewater last week and found handwritten plans and imitation weapons, along with a roughly made imitation pipe bomb and assault rifle. Interpol and the FBI warned local police about the threats, with Bridgewater's Parkview Education Center as one of the targets. The cost of diesel increased yet again over the weekend for Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. In Nova Scotia, price of diesel increased Saturday by 10.5 cents. The minimum price in the Halifax area now $2.40.3 a litre. In New Brunswick, gas increased by 6.2 cents. The maximum price now $1.82 a litre. And diesel increased Saturday and Sunday. That's an increase of nearly 19 cents since Friday. The maximum price now $2.52.4. Pump prices and PEI did not change over the weekend. A month after becoming a household name in her province, Moncton's Courtney Sauro was celebrated by her community over the weekend. The 25-year-old took home 4 medals at the 2026 Olympic Winter Games. CTV's Avery McRae has more from the celebration.
A little snow to start the spring season wasn't about to keep the hundreds of fans away from the chance to meet their hometown hero, including 2025 Special Olympic speed skater Jonathan Henry.
Seen her on TV, watching her to cheer her on, and I'm so proud of her.
Henry was one of many Moncton residents eager for the chance to meet 4-time Olympic medalist Courtney Sauro. The 25-year-old became a household name during the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games last month in Italy, taking home 2 bronze and 2 silver medals in short track speed skating.
My favorite comment when anyone holds one is like, "Oh my gosh, it's so heavy." I'm like, "Yeah, it's the real deal."
For nearly 2 hours, Sauro met and took pictures with residents, leaving a lasting impact on fans of all ages.
Congratulations for her medals, and she said thank you.
It was fantastic. It's a great event to have her come down here and have a chance to meet her and say congratulations.
It capped off days worth of visits and appearances in her hometown, where she has been inspiring the next generation.
It doesn't even have to be sport related. I had someone tell me that they feel like they could make it somewhere big with music, and they were always kind of concerned that Moncton was too small to do that, and I showed that, you know, we can be a force on the world stage and we can do something really great.
Since Sauro's Olympic success, speed skating in the province has seen an uptick in interest, which is good news for her former team, the Kodiak Cyclones.
We see a lot of excitement, and we see a lot of people that want to come and try the long blade skate.
And for young skaters like Isaac Doe, it gives them confidence they too can succeed, even being from a smaller province.
It's really been amazing, really. Seeing somebody that fast that was in New Brunswick is really something cool.
Everyone's just being so warm and welcoming, and it's really nice to come back to my community.
Avery McRae, CTV News, Moncton.
Thank you, Avery. I love seeing the little kids being like, "Hey, camera."
It's a great day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, time for a quick trip to Poland to visit a rescue facility for wounded birds. It has a happy ending. It's okay. It's based at the city zoo and treats more than 9,000 injured birds a year. Also, beautiful little bird. Members of the public can bring injured birds to the zoo, and then a vet will collect the bird and try to bring them back to health. It's a bit like the work being done in our region by our friends at Hope for Wildlife. I just thought it was kind of cool, but also that particular bird they had was such a beautiful bird.
Also good on anyone who caught a bird. Wow.
I know.
I guess if they're
look at that bird. Somebody, we need to go to Poland to see the birds.
Huh, you never know what you'll see.
You don't know.
All right, stick around. We are going to chat with PEI author Caitlin Paxton about her debut fantasy novel. But first, Latavia has the forecast. If you're wondering how long is this snow going to last for, she's got the answer. What is nice is that roads are clear in Fredericton, and hey, there's no worry about flooding right now. The forecast is up next.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:13. It is -5 heading outdoors in Peggy's Cove. As of right now, you can see a foggy, cloudy, and snowy start to your day. We are still seeing active weather across parts of the maritime region, so keep this in mind when you are heading out on an early morning commute. It is cold right across Atlantic Canada early this morning, starting off the week. As of right now, -2 degrees in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -4 early this morning in both Sydney and Halifax, -19 in parts of Labrador, and -6 in St. John's, Newfoundland. We do still have a special weather statement in effect until Tuesday morning along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia, expecting around 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, as well as a winter storm warning for parts of Newfoundland until Tuesday night. Seeing snowfall around 20 to 35 centimeters. Wind gusts will range from 60 to 100. A blowing snow advisory also in effect for the Channel Porter Baskin vicinity until Tuesday afternoon, looking at around 5 to 10 centimeters within that blowing snow. Wind gusts of 60. And an orange level winter storm warning for the Avalon Peninsula until Tuesday afternoon, looking at around 20 to 40 centimeters of snow and wind gusts between 60 to 70. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are seeing sunshine throughout the day today for both Newfoundland and Labrador. Into the Maritime region, a chance of some flurry activity for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. Starting to see that clear out, though. And then for Nova Scotia, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain early on. And then transitioning over to some steadier snowfall into the late morning and into the afternoon. And then into this evening, we'll start to see some flurry activity. Still holding on to snow, though, for Cape Breton Island. Snow also makes its way over to Newfoundland, bringing snow at times heavy with some blowing snow as well. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we will see an additional accumulation, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for southern New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and then for much of Nova Scotia, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation. For parts of eastern Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, seeing up to 10 to 15 centimeters. And then for Newfoundland, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation, the heaviest being 15 to 45 centimeters. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, daytime highs will range from -2 to +1. We do have isolated flurries still remaining for parts of the province, wind gusts of 50. And then for Prince Edward Island, highs between -2 to -1. Scattered flurries expected throughout your day. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, starting off with some flurry activity, looking at a bit of freezing rain, transitioning over to snow into the afternoon. Daytime highs will range from -2 to -1. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Snow mixed with freezing rain starting off the day. Some steadier snowfall into the late morning and afternoon, transitioning over to flurries into the evening. Highs will range from -2 to 1. Labrador City, -8 degrees today. Lots of sunshine throughout your day. -2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking at a mix of sun and cloud today. Heavier snow makes its way over into the evening. Tuesday's forecast, another cooler day ahead. A bit of sunshine, though, returns for the Maritime region, parts of Labrador. And then we are going to see snow still holding on into Tuesday afternoon for Cape Breton Island. Newfoundland looking at a bit of mixed precipitation as well. And then into Wednesday morning, we do have a chance of flurries and or showers returning for parts of Nova Scotia. And taking us into Wednesday afternoon, temperatures warm up, become seasonal, and sunshine returns as well for much of the Maritimes, but snow remains in parts of Cape Breton and Newfoundland and for parts of Labrador. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll flip things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Now to international news. 2 pilots are dead after an Air Canada regional jet from Montreal crashed into a rescue vehicle as they were landing at New York's LaGuardia Airport late last night.
Sadly, the 2 pilots are confirmed deceased, and notifications are being made by Air Canada's care team at this time.
Video from the scene shows the jet with its nose up in the air and its cockpit destroyed with wires dangling from the fuselage. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, which oversees the airport, says the Air Canada Express plane with 72 passengers and 4 crew aboard hit a fire truck that was responding to a separate emergency aboard a Delta flight. 2 people in the fire truck were injured and were among the 41 people taken to hospital. Most have since been released, but 9 remain hospitalized and some are in serious condition. The clock is ticking on a bold threat laid out by U.S. President Donald Trump over the weekend. He warned the U.S. will obliterate Iran's power plants if it doesn't fully open the Strait of Hormuz later today. CTV's Kamil Karamali has more on what this could mean for the conflict and the economy.
Rescuers search for bodies in Tehran after Israeli airstrikes hit Iran's capital overnight. As the missiles continue to fly, so too does a war of words. New threats from Iran today saying it'll completely close the Strait of Hormuz, a critical channel used to ship roughly 1/5 of the world's oil, and that it would attack infrastructure used by Israeli and American allies if the U.S. follows through on its plan to bomb bomb Iran's power plants. Saturday, U.S. President Donald Trump said he would obliterate Iranian energy and power infrastructure if the key shipping route isn't opened up to all countries by Monday night.
That's not going to go down with the Iranians. They are fighting for their lives, and this is just going to drag this war on into a new direction.
Right now, Iranian officials say the Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels except for the ships of enemy countries, referencing Israel, the U.S., and its allies. On NBC's Meet the Press today, the U.S. Treasury Secretary not counting out sending in troops to do the job.
Will the administration use troops to secure the Strait of Hormuz?
As President Trump always does, he's leaving all options on the table.
Each and every day, you lose, just for oil, 20 million barrels a day.
But fears the short-term ripple effects could turn into waves of volatility that last months, drowning the global economy.
You're destroying stuff, producing assets. LNG trains, refineries, wellheads, ports. And so the market is also worried about how long will the damage take to repair.
Across Canada, drivers hit hard at the pumps with gas prices continuing to rise. The blockade half a world away also has farmers here feeling the pinch.
With the situation in the Strait of Hormuz, it's a big fertilizer producing region. It's really not a great time as farmers are ready to get into the fields here in the coming weeks.
Those already paying more for travel, waiting for when the war will be reflected on their grocery bills. The European Union's foreign policy chief held a phone call with Iran's foreign minister today, expressing the urgent need to open the Strait of Hormuz, saying they're now exploring diplomatic avenues.
CTV's Kamil Karmali reporting. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have a conversation with a debut author from Prince Edward Island. That conversation on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. If you're a fan of fantasy romance novels, your to-be-read list is about to get longer in a good way. The new book, A Widow's Charm, by Prince Edward Island author Caitlin Paxson, will be released next week, and we're so happy to have Caitlin join us this morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, before we get into what the book's about, I want to talk about you a little bit more. You're not just an author. You're also a performer. You're a historical interpreter. You're also a harpist. So you've got all these attributes. Why did you decide to add author to your resume? Was this something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I've been telling stories since I was a kid, really, and decided I wanted to pursue being an author when I was in university, and have been working towards it ever since. So like for many authors, it was a long journey for me of writing multiple books until we got to the one that ended up being the one. So I'm very excited to finally be here after many years of working at it.
And your work is coming through. I'm so lucky I got to preview A Widow's Charm, and I am about, oh gosh, a quarter of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. So tell us a bit more about what the book is about, because it really is charming.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. So it's the story of a determined widow who decides that she needs to resurrect her dead husband in order to save her community. So she determines the best way to do this is by blackmailing the necromancer next door, who has a charm for resurrection. Unfortunately, he thinks she's flirting with him, and misunderstandings ensue. And they end up falling in love over the course of a very farcical, wacky journey.
I love this. And to be clear, a charm is like, I want to, hopefully I'm describing it all right, okay. It's like having a magical ability, but it's frowned upon. It's not celebrated.
Yeah, in the world of this, in this book, it's, the book is, it feels like historical fiction, but it's purely fantasy. It's set in a made-up place, and in this made-up place, indeed having a magical charm is frowned upon. It's seen as very taboo. For a long time, it was illegal, so it's something that people hide if they have it. But unfortunately, the male main character has accidentally revealed his charm for resurrection, so he's in a spot of trouble, which is why the female lead is able to blackmail him.
It is so much fun. It's a fun blackmail. What was your inspiration? Where did this idea come from?
Well, I really began, I think, because the male main character started whispering in my ear. Sometimes authors get lucky and a character just sort of starts talking to you. I was out for a walk. I live in a rural Prince Edward Island. It was shortly after I had first moved here 5 years ago. And he just sort of started chattering at me. And I thought, ooh, who is this? Why is he so grumpy? And what can we do about it? So that was sort of the beginning of it for me. Really, when I wrote this book, though, my guiding light was to write something that I would have so much fun working on that it would not feel like work. You know, after you've worked at writing books for a really long time and struggled to reach that sort of publication goal, you really start to hone in on the fact that you're writing because you love writing. That has to be the main goal. So with this book, I love historical fiction, I love costume drama, I love comedy, and I love romance. So I was really trying to meld all those things together with a fantastical overlay.
It's all coming together, and that necromancer character, so funny. I can definitely hear why he stuck with you. We have about 20 seconds left. You have an event, a launch coming up at Bookmark in Charlottetown. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so the Bookmark has been enormously supportive. I'm so grateful. And we're hosting an event on March 31st, which is the day the book comes out at 7 p.m. It's being held at the Haviland Club in Charlottetown, and all are welcome.
Perfect. And where can people find copies of the book, March 31st?
Well, anywhere books are sold, you can find the book. And you can also always visit my website, CaitlinPaxson.com, for links.
Well, Caitlin, congratulations. After years of work, that time is here, and your book is going to go out there into the world.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
A Widow's Charm will hit bookshelves on March 31st by PEI's Caitlin Paxson. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back. Still ahead this morning, spring beauty must-haves. If you're feeling like your routine could use some hydration after a long, dry winter, you're not alone. We'll ask beauty contributor Mira Estrada for her top picks for spring, just ahead.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 8:31. That was an incredible interview.
Yes.
I was like, I need to read this book once it comes out.
A Widow's Charm, March 31st. I was so fortunate when we booked the interview. We got sent an advanced reader copy. And yeah, I have quickly been flying through it and so enjoying it. It's very whimsical and funny, but like it starts off right away like, okay, but the husband's dead and what's she gonna do about it? And then, oh, here's this like necromancer next door. And
oh, you know,
I'm
my
a blackmail.
neighbor. Yeah.
I love it. It's a fun blackmail.
Yeah.
You don't hear that every day.
No, you don't hear that every day. But it's so exciting to see a writer from PEI getting this attention. She was also just telling me during the commercial break too that New York Times gave it a really good review.
Gosh, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I know.
Wow. Well, she had me at when she started talking about the fun historical stuff she's doing in PEI.
Oh my gosh, she doesn't stop.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay, weather-wise.
Yeah. It is a gloomy start to the day, a bit cool as well across the region. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. Here's a live look at Parsboro, exactly what I just explained. And we are still seeing some active weather across parts of the Maritime region. So also keep that in mind when you are heading out on an early morning commute. Then in terms of the current temperatures, as of right now, it is -3 degrees in Fredericton, -5 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax and Sydney, with -15 in Cartwright, -14 in St. Anthony. And then factor in that wind chill, making it feel a lot cooler for many areas across Atlantic Canada, with a risk of frostbite still remaining early in the morning for parts of Labrador. A special weather statement still remains in the forecast along the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia until Tuesday morning, still expecting some snowfall. We do have a winter storm warning also in effect for parts of Newfoundland, with a blowing snow advisory for Channel Port aux Basques, as well as an orange level winter storm warning for the Avalon Peninsula. As for the satellite and radar, sunshine for Newfoundland and Labrador today, but we do have that active weather still remaining in the Maritimes. As of right now for New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, looking at a chance of some flurry activity and looking at some steadier snowfall remaining in the forecast for Nova Scotia into the afternoon. In terms of the wind, it will be a bit of a breezy day ahead for all three maritime provinces. As of right now, we're looking at 30 kilometers per hour in Greenwood, as well as into Lunenburg and Yarmouth, 28 into North Cape. Wind gusts getting up to 46 in Yarmouth, 43 in Lunenburg, 35 in Halifax and Canso. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Back to our top story. 2 Air Canada pilots have been killed in a crash at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
In accordance with our emergency plan, our mutual aid partners, FDNY and NYPD, immediately responded. Initial numbers indicate that 41 passengers and crew were transported to the hospital, as well as the ARF officers.
The crash happened as the plane was landing last night at around 11:40 p.m. Officials say the jet struck a Port Authority fire truck. The fire truck was responding to another incident on the runway. 72 passengers and 4 crew members were on board at the time of the crash. Officials say 41 people were taken to hospital, some with serious injuries. 2 people who were in the fire truck were also hurt. The National Transportation Safety Board is now investigating, and the airport is expected to be closed until at least 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's spring and early spring. Many Maritimers waking up to another blast of winter-like weather. Here's a look at conditions in the HRM this morning. Now, in other parts of Nova Scotia, it is an extended March break for some students due to the weather. All schools under the South Shore school banner are closed today, and classes are canceled for schools in Shelburne County. Most schools in Cape Breton and the Strait area will also dismiss 1 hour early today. NSCC's Pictou campus and Strait area campus are also closed today. A missing child from Nova Scotia's Hatchet Lake has been found safe. Last night, RCMP issued an emergency alert saying that a child was reported missing from Prospect Road. An hour later, RCMP issued a release saying the child had been safely located. Meantime, multiple agencies began searching for a missing man in Colchester County, Nova Scotia on Sunday. Police say 47-year-old Jason Lorette was reported missing Friday. Ground search and rescue teams from 3 counties, as well as civilian and RCMP aircraft, are involved. The Mounties also have police dogs in the area as well. Atlantic Canada's largest cheerleading event took place in Halifax over the weekend, with over 100 teams and athletes of all ages and abilities taking part. CTV's Emma Convey shows us more.
Hundreds of cheerleaders hit the mats this weekend at Atlantic Canada's largest cheerleading event, Cheer Expo.
We have 122 teams, and it's a variety of ages. So we have starting at U6, which is under 6, so like 4, 5, 6-year-olds on those teams, right up until open, which is ages 17 plus. And you could be as old as you want to be. If you want to be 85 and still do it, you can.
After 23 years, organizer Laura Mars says this tournament continues to grow. This year, 86 teams came from out of town, even as far as Alberta. It's significant, a qualifier tournament.
This tournament has a lot of opportunities for bids to go to international events outside of our normal province and our country. So this event gives out bids to the IASF Cheerleading Worlds, which takes place in Florida, as well as super bids, which can be used in different countries across Europe, and also has bids to the AIA Global Tournament, which is a new tournament taking place in Montreal this summer.
Whether the team's focus is tumbling, dance, stunts, gymnastics, or acrobatics, just competing at this event is exciting for these athletes.
Been trying to get for a couple years now is Max Out Award, and so we're trying to get that, and then there's Judge's Choice, there's like specialty awards.
We hit 0, it was so fun, and we just hit it.
This event is a full circle moment for head coach of the U12 Empire Athletics South Shore Titans, Jessica Adler, as she grew up competing here and now she shares her passion and knowledge.
This competition in particular was after our last competition. We had about 6 weeks and we changed pretty much everything in our routine. So the lesson I wanted them to learn this weekend is that it's okay to start over. You can start over.
They just help us not just with cheer, with life.
Win or lose, at the end of the day, personal goals are the most important.
Try to do my best. Cheer each other on and just like encourage each other. Cheer and have fun. Come out off the mat with a smile on your face.
Each one taking these new skills off the mat into life. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
And on the ice, a lot to celebrate. 3 Maritime University hockey teams made the podium over the weekend. 2 for the men's national championship in Halifax Sunday, and for the women in Ontario.
standing right next to the goaltender. Vandenberg's pad. I'll tell you what, that pad's about 9 feet wide. They score!
So let's start with the gold medal game for the men's. This was the heartbreaking loss in overtime for host St. Mary's at the U Sports Men's Hockey Championship final. The Huskies lost 3-2, 14 minutes and 23 seconds into overtime to UQTR.
I know that he played in the KHL. There's a chance and they score, and that's McPhee.
Meantime, earlier Sunday at the U Cup, the UNB Reds men's hockey, they beat the Windsor Lancers 5-1 in the bronze medal game. Of course, that game also in Halifax as well. And we're having a bit of a technical issue, unfortunately, but we need to mention the women as well. This was in Elmira, Ontario. UNB Women's Reds, they also earned the bronze. So they defeated the Guelph Griffins with a score of 4-3 to capture the bronze medal. So the men's National Hockey Championship for the university sports, that was in Halifax yesterday, but the women's Elmira, Ontario. I wish we had the video, but technical errors. But yeah, the U Sports Women's Hockey Championship, UNB Reds defeated the Guelph Griffins 4-3.
Oh, UNB is an incredible team.
UNB bronze. Wow.
Congratulations, UNB, for beating University of Windsor Lancers. However, I am a former University of Windsor.
Oh, you're Lancer.
So it hurts. Yeah. So
that's a bittersweet.
It's a bittersweet. I love Maritimes, but you know, I'll always be a Lancer.
Okay, there you go.
The Lancers. Anywho, here's what 26,000 unopened cans of food looks like when creatively displayed. This is in Waterloo, Ontario. Look at that. They made it into a windmill. Teams put their best designs forward to raise money for the food bank. Construction is a week-long event where businesses and community groups work together, turning cans into art. All cans used will go to different organizations in the area, and they also aim to raise $15,000. I love their can-do attitude.
That's really creative.
No, it's very creative.
Cool.
I always love to share these things because it could be an idea where we could do this kind of thing here.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be done. All right, now we're going to take a look at our community calendar, highlighting some events. So spring is here, and so is the Riverview Maple Fest. You can come out and celebrate the maple harvest with a weekend of maple-themed events. So experiences and tasty maple treats. Sounds really cool. You can head to the website to learn additional details. And a trip down memory lane takes place in Charlottetown midweek. The Story of Rock and Roll Volume 2 will take place at the Jack Blanchard Center Wednesday, March 25th. Enjoy live music from classic rock and roll hits. Head over to the Jack Blanchard Center for the performance. And the Theater Art Guild gears up for opening nights of their production of Summerland. So the production will run from March 26th until April 11th. You can enjoy a tale of mystery and imagination. Head over to the website to purchase tickets. And if you do have an upcoming event, please send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at CTV.ca. Time now is 8:41. Stick with us. We'll be right back right after this. Good morning. The time now is 8:45 on your Monday. We're taking a live look at St. John's, Newfoundland. Lots of sunshine starting off your day with a mix of sun and cloud before increasing cloudiness and active weather heading your way. But as of right now, it is cool across the region. Temperatures will rise a little bit later on, but still remaining below the freezing mark for many communities. As of right now, it is -3 in Fredericton, -5 degrees in Charlottetown, -4 in Halifax and Sydney, -33 in Labrador City, and -8 in Gander. A special weather statement remains in effect until Tuesday afternoon for the Atlantic coast of Nova Scotia. Still expecting around 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. We also have a winter storm warning now in effect until Tuesday night for parts of Newfoundland to locate around 20 to 35 centimeters of snow accumulation, as well as wind gusts between 60 to 100 kilometers per hour. A blowing snow advisory for Channel Port aux Basques vicinity until Tuesday afternoon. Could see 5 to 10 centimeters within that blowing snow, wind gusts of 60 kilometers per hour. And an orange level winter storm warning for the Avalon Peninsula until Tuesday afternoon. Snow will range from 20 to 40 centimeters, and wind gusts could get up to 70 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. Lots of sunshine for both Newfoundland and Labrador today, but into the maritime region, could see some sunny breaks for parts of New Brunswick. Other than that, though, we do have a chance of some flurry activity for parts of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening. And then for Nova Scotia, looking at snow mixed with freezing rain early in the morning, transitioning over to some steadier snowfall into the late morning and afternoon before transitioning over to flurry activity into tonight. Temperatures will cool back down, taking us into Tuesday morning. Another cold start to the day. We still have some snow remaining for parts of Cape Breton Island, and Newfoundland will see that heavier snow move in and bring us into Tuesday as well. If you're wondering about snow accumulation, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of additional accumulation for southern New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. For much of Nova Scotia, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters, but the heaviest being 10 to 15 for parts of eastern Nova Scotia and Cape Breton Island. Now, the heaviest of that snowfall is situated into parts of Newfoundland, looking at around 15 to 45 centimeters. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, as I had mentioned, a bit of flurry activity expected across the province today. Daytime highs will range from -2 to 1, and we are going to see wind gusts of 50 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island highs between -2 to -1 as well. Scattered flurries across the island today, wind gusts of 50. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, starting off with a bit of flurry activity, and then into the afternoon and evening, snow and also seeing a risk of freezing rain. Daytime highs between -2 to -1, wind gusts of 50 as well. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, snow mixed with freezing rain transitions over to steadier snow into the afternoon, and then tapers off to flurry activity into the evening with highs between -2 to 1 degree. For Labrador City, -8 degrees with lots of sunshine throughout your day, -2 for St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking at a mix of sun and clouds, seeing that heavier snowfall move in this evening. So for Tuesday's forecast, we do have a bit of mixed precipitation for Newfoundland, looking at snow, also a risk of freezing rain and some rain. For Cape Breton Island, still holding on to some snowfall, while there will be some sunny breaks for parts of the maritime region and for Labrador. Into Wednesday morning, we are going to see another low pressure system making its way over, a chance of showers and or flurries for parts of Nova Scotia, and that will still continue into the afternoon, but seeing sunshine as well in the forecast, and temperatures will be warming up. That's a look at weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Crystal.
Spring is finally here, and after months of cold air, wind, and dry indoor heating, our skin and hair are probably looking a little flat, dry, and in need of a refresh. This time of year is really about bringing back glow, freshness, and color, brighter skin, lighter makeup, and easy hair fixes that help us look a little more polished without a lot of effort. Joining us is our partner and beauty contributor, Mira Estrada, who has some spring beauty must-haves to wake up your routine. Good morning, Mira.
Good morning. Are you ready for this?
Oh, bring it on.
Okay, so we're going to go from roots to skin to makeup, and we're going to start with hair care. And so our calendars might be starting to fill up, more brunches, more events, more out in that daylight, and we're like, oh my God, I see the roots. And so enter Schwarzkopf's Keratin Root Temporary Color Spray. What I love about this one, 100% gray coverage. And I used it actually this morning to cover my grays. And also, it makes your hair look about 37 up to 37% thicker. So as I'm getting older, my hair is thinning out. And so I love that I see thicker hair as well. Comes in a multiple range of shades. I like that it's no commitment. Next shampoo, it washes out again. And then those scalp loving ingredients. It has the keratin, it has the vitamin E, and so it's non-irritating, and it works on all hair types. Again, this is like that great emergency. Oh, I got the roots. You can fix them up right here.
It sounds like a great product. Yeah, love that one. Okay, where are we going next?
We are going to skincare. We're going to Korea. So I have Penuels. It is the brightening 2-in-1 mask to foam cleanser. And so I love a multitasker. And so you can use this for your everyday cleanser, or you can use this as a mask. It has this great jam-like texture. Like, forget about peanut butter and jam. This is my new jam that I'm going for. You leave this mask on for 2 minutes. That's all you need on dry skin, and then you give it a rinse, pat dry. I feel like you instantly get this glow up, and that's because yuja is a Korean fruit. This one contains 13 yujas, major vitamin C glow up. It also has such ingredients. What do we have? We have niacinamide, we have the vitamin C, we have the ceramides, 5 types of hyaluronic acid. So this is just so great for not only brightening, but hydrating that skin. And again, a multitasker, which I love.
Sold. Where would I get this?
You can get it online on their website. It's really, you know what, let me leave a link on my social so I can tell you basically everywhere where you can get this.
Love it. Good. I know I'd love it. I love my daughters would love that too. Okay, let's move on to makeup.
Yeah, the fun stuff. So makeup. So Armani has the Luminous Silk Foundation, and this one is one that makeup artists swear by, so they know what they're talking about. And why we like this for spring, it's super lightweight, but it also can give you medium coverage, and it's not overly, like, can you see it just like literally melted into my skin? It feels like silk, comes in 44 shades, so you'll find a shade that you love. Also, those skincare ingredients, it has a squalene in it, so it's so great for your skin. And again, it's just a really lightweight coverage, which we want for the spring. We want to look natural and fresh, and this gives us that.
Well, it certainly looks great on you. I'd love to give it a try, too. Okay, finally, we're talking about blush. Oh, this is one of my favorite spring makeup things.
Oh, I know. And pink, right? Like, blush is having such a big moment. And so Yves Saint Laurent has this Make Me Blush. Beautiful pink shades. I actually love the packaging itself. I just love popping this in my purse. And so I have a lighter pink there. And then you can see next up, I will have more of a bolder pink. And so I like with this, you can go as bold or as light as you want. And again, skincare ingredients, it has squalene in it. And so it's great for the skin as well. Blurs those imperfections. And it's such a pretty spring glow up, that pink blush. I love it.
Oh, I love it. What a great spring makeup refresher. Even just that alone could really change your face for spring. Mira, thank you so much for these suggestions.
Thank you. Happy spring, finally, right?
Oh, I know. Happy spring.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Hey, welcome back. Okay, so this is the point in the show where we respond, like show you your text from the Move Morning Chat. Today we're talking about what your pet's real name is, but then when you actually call them, we have so many answers. Let's get to them. Jason says, our Australian Shepherd's name is Milo, but we sometimes call him Buddy.
No.
Aww. Buddy. Next up, we have Brenda from Waterville. Our little Yorkie poo is named Levi. Levi is a TV watcher, and if he sees anything with fur, feathers, or 4 legs, he loses his mind. For this, he has earned the name Taz, as in the Tasmanian devil, but you wouldn't know it looking at his face. We call him Angel when he's sleeping.
I love it.
So cute, feisty. Jean from New Germany, our dog gets called everything from K-Boss to, what's this one?
Chaos.
Chaos.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Chaos Eugene. When he's in trouble, his most favorite name is Mommy's Little Man.
Aww.
Sweet. LJ, Peanut is our dog's given name. However, we call her Stinky for a nickname, and she answers to it, too.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my gosh. Leanie from Halifax, I have a 21-year-old cat named Peeper. In her younger days, she would jump up on fences and railings to peep into windows. That's how she got her name. But she doesn't peep into windows anymore since she's gotten so old. Still lucky to have her.
Yay, Peeper.
And finally, we have Kristen, who says, we have a Pomchi named Penelope, but we name her Pippa.
Pippa. Oh, wow, sweet. Adorable. Thank you so much for those answers.
Thanks, everyone who weighed in. And if you're returning from March break, hope you have a good return to school and work, and we hope you have a great Monday, too.